Greetings, friends and fiends, I'm Natty Ultra, and this is Empyrion Galactic Survival. Welcome back to episode lucky number 13 of our capital vessel retrofit of the Gunboat Bravo, now the Fenris. And in today's episode, we will continue to refine the outside of the ship, especially the areas around the hangar. And then a little later on, we will begin to play around with the insides and see what can be changed or what needs to be changed for the 6.0 update. But as of this video, the Fenris is indeed complete. And so there is only one build video left after this one, and then in episode 15, we will take a tour. But before we get to the build portion of this video, I wanted to take a look at the vessel you see behind me. I believe it is called the Storm, and it is one of the prefab vessels in the game. And I've always wanted to kind of play around with those vessels. I never really have always been building my own ships from the ground up. And since we are lately retrofitting older ships, I thought maybe I would do the same with this. I'm in creative mode at the moment, and so I'd come down with the Fenris to kind of test it in atmosphere and Omicron, and came across this residential complex with this vessel sitting on the landing pad. And the thing that got my attention, let me change my perspective and get rid of those tags, there we go, was this cockpit. It's rather nice. I like the way that it's built. I like the shape of it. I know they are going for kind of like a helicopter-esque appearance, and they've done quite well with that, I must admit. It's rather creative. Bravo. But I thought maybe I would take a break from detailing the Fenris and play around with this. I know, I take a break from building and texturing to go and do more building and texturing. But the thing I liked about it, like I said, it got my attention, was this cockpit. I mean, it has enough for 3 occupants, including the pilot, obviously, and it has everything you need in way of amenities. But the few things that would need to change are where some of the components are located. And I know I'd said in a previous video, I was worried about the Fury and where I'd have the generators on either side of the cockpit and how that might affect you. Now, with bases and capital vessels, 1 block away from the components that produce either heat or radiation will bake you. So you want to try to stay away at least 1 block out, away from those components. And I was wondering if the same held true for the small vessels, and indeed they do. But obviously on a much smaller scale. It's only 1 block away. So this generator you see here will produce heat out to 1 block away from it. And so a lot of the older ships from the earlier updates will have some of these components inside the cockpit with them, or inside the cockpits. Let's see what's up here. Wow, I opened that and that opened. I'm not sure. Is it just all ammo? Yeah, it's all ammo boxes. Okay. I don't really see anything in here at the moment that would cause a lot of trouble, except for maybe that generator, because you're going to walk right above it. And I do believe, don't quote me on this, I'm still playing around with 6.0, so I even believe that these RCSs may produce something, but again, I'm not certain. I'll check that out a little. Actually, let's just check it out now, shall we? Let's just let's turn this baby on. Ooh. That's creative. I like that. Is this... Oh, that's awesome. I like these. They got these little LCDs up here. Very nice. Very nice. Anyways, I wanted to check and see. Inside here, we're at 8. We're just... The Celsius is climbing. Let's get close to this generator. Is that affecting us at all? I can't really... It seems to be just climbing normally. I'm not sure why it's doing that. Oh! I must have moved just out of range of something. Maybe I'm right in between this threshold, and I'm still gaining the effects for being inside. Yeah, maybe. But anyways, real quickly, Some vessels will have these components on the inside, and if you're within one block of them, you will suffer effects. So what I wanted to do was take this vessel and make it 6.0 compliant, and that's exactly what I did. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut here, and then I will bring what I've done over to this landing pad, and we'll make a few comparisons, and then on to the build portion of this video. Like I said, I am in creative mode at the moment, but the build portion of this video was shot on the Wolves community server, and should you wish to know more about joining that server, I will leave a link in the description below to the Steam group page where you can get all that information about joining. But I will be right back. Alrighty, we have returned, and this is the Wisp. It was so named after the will-o'-the-wisps from a variety of different folklores. They were these malicious lights that would inhabit forests, swamps, and graveyards, and they would lead wayward travelers astray and off the safe path. Now, what those creatures have to do with this vessel, I don't know. It was just the first name that popped in my head when I completed it, and that's what I went with. So, the changes that I made are few. I removed these wings and the tail section and just rearranged the components on the inside. I added a few more thrusters. I got rid of this missile rack here in favor of just the homing rocket launcher, and switched out these railguns for plasma cannons. Really, the only reason I did that was because I kind of liked the way that these sit against the ship, as opposed to these that just kind of stick out. But let's take a quick look on the inside. I used green running lights, kind of give it a ominous appearance, even though it is such a tiny vessel. But yeah, I've never used green. I thought it looked cool with that black. So let's move this around. Oh, I also added a extra docking pad. The Storm only has 3, and it tends to make it a little bit unstable, especially when landing. You can take a look. Let me move around to the side and I'll show you real quick. It has it. This one here just kind of sticks out, and it kind of is a little bit, well, of course. Of course, any other time when I try to get up, oh, there we go. It's a little bit difficult to get up the up this little ramp into the cabin. So I moved them off to the side and added a little ramp here, which just happened to fit perfectly, which I thought was kind of cool. Let's open it up and we'll walk in the inside, what there is of it. Like I said, I just repositioned things. I moved the constructor to the ceiling, as well as the fridge and the 2 cargo containers. I'm pretty sure there's 4 in this one. I believe there was 4 in the Storm as well. Don't quote me on that. I moved the O2 tanks off to either side of the passenger seats. The generators and fuel tanks are on the outside of the cabin. They are in this area here, right behind the weapons. So yeah, I think I will more than likely use this little guy. I may keep one on the Fenris when it's all said and done. I've had such a blast with it. Just adding those few thrusters have made this thing very, very quick. So yeah. But anyways, let's get to the build portion of this video. I'm going to speed things up like I have done in previous videos. But I hope you guys enjoy the video, and I will return for the outro. So I'll see you in a bit. Alrighty guys, well, that's about all the time we have for this go around. If you've enjoyed the video, please leave me a like. I greatly appreciate it. If you wish to continue our adventures in Empyrion, subscribe to my channel. Also, leave a comment, because I am always interested to hear what you have to say. Right now, I gotta get back to the Fenris. But until next time, be well, my friends.